It is a really big day here at the Bird Garden YouTube channel. I'm sporting the swag here on my koozie. I want to get this video started. This is just some activity out by the feeder we recorded earlier today. This is pre-recorded. You can go to the live feeding station on the Bird Garden YouTube channel, and right now they are chowing down. It's getting cold out there, maybe a frost tonight, as a Carolina Wren drops in at this previously recorded clip. There's a northern cardinal male. Can't talk. I've been watching too much Trailer Park Boys or something. But they are flooding the feeder right now. Not too bad in this clip. There's the male Downey woodpecker. Big day for woodpeckers. That's why we decided to go live. Shortly after, I published a video on the Bird Garden YouTube channel today titled 3 Woodpeckers. That means 3 different species. We had a 4th species show up. You saw it in the title, the Red Headed Woodpecker. I'm going to show you some footage of that in just a minute, but let's talk about this Downey woodpecker. It's ornate, it's white, clear-chested, back is kind of black and white striking. Male having that red dot on the back of the head. There's the female cardinal and a white-crowned sparrow adult dropping in the feeding tray. The hairy woodpecker, who also frequents the feeder every day now, looks very similar to the hairy, but nearly twice the size in length and girth. There's male cardinal back. Those are the suet balls on the left. They're suet infused with pepper, and they have mealworms and insects in the matrix also. The female cardinal, left of center and on the front of the feeder, are probably picking sunflower seeds, also pepper infused out of the 3-bowl feeder. There are some, I don't see her eating the mealworms that are in the feeding tray. I think she's eating the sunflower seeds. And that pillar under the green dome, right of center, also a pepper infused, no mess mix from Wild Birds Unlimited. No sponsorship. Just like that food, it works well for the birds. They love it. Being pepper infused. It's a really good deterrent for the mammals. If you haven't seen the bear video yet, we had a bear come destroy the bird feeding station. We had to go to Asheville, North Carolina, Wild Birds Unlimited. Thank you guys over there on Merriman Avenue if you're watching. Not sponsored, but we had to replace a bent pole. I guess when a 300-pound bear leans on your pole, it bends it. So we got that straightened out. The station's looking great today. It was a good day to get some footage. It's cooling. We may get a frost tonight, having 70s temperatures yesterday's high. Today, high in the 40s, going down to the low 30s. So that's why the birds are so busy right now. If you go to the live video right now, or if you're watching this not live, but you're watching the replay, just go check out the live stream. Typically, this is 11 a.m., not a busy time at the feeder by any means, but it gives us a chance to talk about the birds that drop in, like that eastern bluebird there. Enjoying, that's the female. Doesn't have the brilliant blue back. That suet ball, a lot of insect nutrition in there. That suet's basically kind of a rendered fat, so it gives a lot of energy to the birds. Those bluebirds, we have a pair nesting now right off of screen up on the fence that you see in the background. We have a bluebird box that is occupied by those guys. Another white-crowned sparrow dropping in. Easy to identify those adult white-crowned sparrows by this. It's a stark black and white contrast on the head. My wife says it looks like they're wearing the racing helmet. Clear-breasted, little a brown streaked back. There's a tufted titmouse, actually. The white-crowned sparrows, just enjoy these while we can, because they could be gone any day due to migration. They've got to get up north and do their nesting thing. It would be unusual to see one in these parts after May. We may see the migrants coming up from the south through May, but it would be very rare to see one 1st of June or after. Male cardinal there on the pillar feeder on the right. We have a new pillar feeder on the extreme right under the red dome. That is called a nesting mix. It has also some mealworms infused. It is not a pepper infused. We have been bringing the hanging feeders inside at night after the bear visited twice. If you go watch that video, there's a mourning dove. That's an adult. You can see the bear doesn't like the pepper. It affects it immediately, but it's just so hungry, I guess, after a hibernation, and it recognized bird feeders and the smell as easy food. He had to come and try anyway, twice. So now we bring those feeders inside. So we're trying what's called a nesting blend without risk of the bear getting a hold of it at night. They have been all nocturnal sightings. One was at 10 p.m. We were awake in the living room just feet away from the bird feeding station. It was quite scary. When we woke up the next morning, played the live stream back, which you can do too. You can drag the timeline at the bottom of your screen when you're watching the live stream. You can go backwards in time. So sometimes helpful viewers will put timestamps in the comments, and they'll list a bird and a timestamp, so you can retrace the events back, I think, about 12 hours or something like that. And then we capture highlights, which I've got a highlight to show you coming up here. But right now, let's make sure we understand how to identify each of these species. The mourning dove, obviously the largest bird in the feeder, brown gray back, black spots on the back, dark beak. You get a well-lit day. You can see some iridescence on the chest of those doves. They even have a bit of rose pinkish color to them. Adult white-crowned sparrow on the left on the suet balls. Tufted titmouse in front of your screen just flew off the tray feeder. Gray bird, little crest on the head, and orange flank. We've got a species highlight video on the Bird Garden YouTube channel all about the tufted titmouse. If you want to know how to identify birds in detail, not just on the wing, so to speak, like we're doing in these How to Identify Birds daily checklist, you can check out those species highlights videos that we have on the channel. And there's the tufted titmouse back in the feeding tray. On the back side, we had a white-crowned sparrow dropping down, and of course the male northern cardinal on the 3-bowl feeder. That tufted titmouse is probably not the same one. There's a few in the area, and their feeding mechanism, typically their method of operation is to drop in, grab a seed, and leave. Sometimes you'll see them eat the seed while they're in the tray or on the side of the tray and grab another seed before they leave, but they're not the type that would hang around for very long. And now we've got the end of this clip. We're moving on to the next clip now. There's the northern cardinal already in the feeder. I see another bird in the background on the ground back there, probably a white-crowned sparrow, the tufted titmouse still hanging around. And I'm going to advance this if I can. We did have a clip of a Carolina wren. We didn't talk about the identification of that guy at the very top of the show. That's a little brown job. Okay, it's brown, maybe leaning a little bit toward red or rufous, and it has a light tan supercilium or heavy eyebrow, long eyebrow, light tan, very distinct, lighter, buffier tan, buffy chest and belly. Very vocal bird, loves to sing. Tea cattle, 3 syllables, and also very common in our yard. I'm sure they're nesting in the yard someplace. I haven't identified a nesting location. Tufted titmouse, I've not seen a nest in the yard, but probably back there in the woods. As with the cardinals, there's several families of cardinals around. I've never found the nest. Song sparrows, eastern bluebirds, house wrens, have all nested here. Of course, we've got 4 species of woodpeckers at the feeder. 2 more we can see from the yard. At the feeder, we've seen the Downey woodpecker, hairy woodpecker, red-bellied woodpecker, and red-headed woodpecker. Also in the yard, we've seen a northern flicker, and then in the woods behind the fence, you can see back there the pileated woodpecker. I did not see a yellow-bellied sapsucker this winter, but they're also expected in the area during the winter time. We might catch one of those on migration on its way back out of here. All the food the birds are eating are Wild Birds Unlimited pepper infused food, including the suet and the suet balls on the left and the center suet feeder. This right pillar under the red dome, not pepper infused. So since we're bringing the feeders in at night, we're trying that. We got the male Downey woodpecker on the right-hand pillar feeder under the green dome. Just wearing there are no insect material in here. It's all seeds. It's all hull-less seeds. Some peanuts, sunflower seeds, 100% the bird's weight. And there is in the feeding tray. Now up on the suet balls, we've got the Carolina Wren back. You can see the supercilium or big eyebrow, the reddish brown on the back, and the tan belly. We don't have any volume. You could probably hear that guy sing, but we turned the volume down on the bird garden feeding station because it's in very close proximity to a significantly sized water feature. If you want to check that out, you can go to Pond Life YouTube channel. We've got new videos up there as of today. Japanese koi. I love those fish, and that's a beautiful video. If you want to see some pond life, go to the Pond Life YouTube channel. Let's see here. Advancing a bit more on this clip. Previously recorded, there's a Carolina chickadee in the feeding tray. I love that bird. Gray back, black head, white cheeks, white belly, just striking. Closely resembles the black-capped chickadee. And even for experienced birders, they're a little bit difficult to tell apart. It's very easy if you see them together. You can see the differences. The main feature we look for, and there's a video on the channel about how to do this. It's the amount of white in the secondary wing feathers when they're folded. Sounds complicated, especially if you're starting out, or you just enjoy watching birds, not studying bird anatomy. I get it. So we made a video with pictures. I circled the area I'm talking about. You can see just what it is I'm looking for. And if you look in a field guide, every good bird watcher should have a field guide. If you don't have one, they're free online. And also there's some excellent free apps for your cell phones. And they all will. I've not found one that doesn't do a decent comparison of the Carolina chickadee versus the black-capped chickadee. That said, they're still not easy to distinguish. And in some areas, just to throw you off, the birds go ahead and hybridize. And they just call them chickadees. They don't try to distinguish when they're out doing some field birding. All right, still got a male northern cardinal on the 3-bowl feeder, an adult white-crowned sparrow on the suet balls. Now, the adult white-crowns have black and white markings on the head. The juveniles will have brown and tan stripes, and they eventually turn black and white. All right, advancing forward. There we go. And now just a break. A hawk could be in the area. The birds could have heard a neighbor out banging around. I see some birds flying in the background there. They're just not comfortable lighting on the feeder. So yeah, if they sense a raptor or hear another bird give an alarm call, they lay low for just a minute. That's very normal. Let's see what happens. New clip. All right. Let's advance a little bit to see if we can see when the birds come back. Here's a new bird we haven't talked about today. Here's a pair of house finches. The male with the red on the head and the chest, female all drab brown, little streaky on the breast. The wing bars they have white wing bars, faint wing bars. Now there's a song sparrow in the tray feeder. And then that is the stereotypical little brown job. When he flies by, you don't see any of those beautiful markings. And those markings help him hide when he gets in a bush also. But you can see he's got a line through his eye. He's got an eye line. It's darker than the rest of his face. And he's got broad stripes on his chest all the way down his sides. And if he would have faced the camera, you would have seen a pendant, a dot or a spot right in the center of his chest. That's the song sparrow. They do nest in the yard. Look like a flyby of a cardinal there. Back to the house finches. There's our guy back. Keep an eye out on that song sparrow in case he faces the camera, and look for his pendant in the chest. That female house finch chowing down on some pepper-infused sunflower hearts, along with the male northern cardinal. There's the chickadee back, Carolina chickadee. If you look on the back of the wings, you can see a little bit of white. If it were a black-capped chickadee, it would be more extensive white on his back when his wings are folded. That coloration is actually on the wings. The male house finch with the red head, the red head and the red chest, similar to the purple finch. Purple finch is bigger, more strikingly marked. There's a good look at the pendant on the song sparrow. It's kind of like a point where all those stripes just kind of emerge from. That's a good list today. Slow time, they're trickling in 2 or 3 species at a time. I know there's a couple of common guys that I haven't seen in these clips yet, but they've been in and out of there all day. We do have several of these highlight clips from the live stream uploaded as videos. I love to do that and talk about mostly how to identify these birds, because that's where you make the connection. When you know someone's name, it's a connection. It's the same with the birds. When you know their name, there's more of a connection there. And then when you learn 1 or 2 of the birds' names, you find out, oh, well, I already knew those other 2 or 3. So now you know half the birds at your feeder. And with just a little effort and some assistance by videos like these that we're making, you learn all of the birds that are coming to your feeder. And it helps you to easily recognize when one that you don't recognize is a new one. And then you have some resources to help you figure out what that is. When you know their names, then you can figure out what they like to eat, how they like to drink, where they like to live, what shelter can you provide them. Before you know it, you've turned your backyard into a bird garden. You're welcome. Okay, now let's see what we have here. I want you to watch this clip quickly. I want to draw your attention to the left side of the screen, these suet balls. And this guy is going to come in here quickly. It's 4:05. There he is. It's 4:05 p.m. And this guy just comes in out of nowhere. This is a grab from the live stream. You see the ticker at the bottom. I just happened to look outside and see him on the feeder. It's the first time we've seen him this year. We do have videos from last year. They were here all last year. Beautiful birds. So happy to have them around. Red Headed Woodpecker. Perfect time to tell you that on the right side of center under the green dome, you see the red-bellied woodpecker. But this is the male with the brilliant red head all across the crown, often referred to as the red-headed woodpecker. But here we have them both. Now you can tell the difference. The red-headed woodpecker, solid red head, solid white chest, and the back is black, white, and black banded. Oh, it's just striking. Whereas the red-bellied woodpecker, the back is it's narrow streaks, black and white streaks. So they're easy to distinguish once you understand that the red-headed woodpecker has a completely red hood all the way down to the neck. And the red-bellied woodpecker has the red crown. And the female red-bellied woodpecker, the red doesn't come all the way to the beak. It starts on top of the head and goes down the back of the head. So there's even less red on the female red-bellied woodpecker. But this guy, the red-headed woodpecker, amazing. And there for the first time today in this video, we see the American goldfinch. That little yellow bird is just coveted at bird feeders. They're lemon yellow, black wings, white wing bar, black on the crown, and they'll come to your feeder if you put some food out. They like thistle seeds, a very tiny seed, but we've had them all winter and now into the spring on no thistle seeds, just sunflower seeds, peanuts, millet, whatever's in the no mess blend from Wild Birds Unlimited. Now we've got a white crowned sparrow there, adult, and the red-headed woodpecker hanging out on the left. And if you ask me, he looks tired. He looks like he just arrived from a long flight. He's resting. He's eating. He doesn't have a frenetic pace about anything he's doing. And I just happened to look out at the feeder at the right time and see him there, or we wouldn't have known to capture this clip. He arrived at 5 after. It's now 7 after. I would say he's not going to be there much longer. There's a little better look at him. Oh, that is just a gorgeous bird. And there's an American goldfinch on the right. Now on the 3-bowl feeder. You can still see a little bit of smudginess. There's on the yellow of that bird. He's still transitioning into spring breeding plumage. The Carolina chickadee on the back. You see some, there goes the red headed woodpecker. He's off. And there's just a little bit of white in those wings laid across the back of that Carolina chickadee. Okay, and that's going to do it for the daily checklist, how to identify birds. I hope you learned something. If you've got questions about how to identify a bird, or you've got some clues, you can give me, leave in the comments what field marks you're able to identify on a bird that you don't know the name of yet, and we'll work it out. We'll figure out what the bird is. I appreciate you watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button. It matters. If you want to support the channel, the algorithm appreciates that interaction from you guys. Also, if you know anybody that might enjoy this type of content, feel free to share it across your social media. Copy the link, paste it on your Facebook, anything like that is really appreciated. I appreciate you just for watching. We're going to do this again real soon and hope to see you then. Till then, stay safe.